Hello guys, I hope you all doing fine as I am, and yeah, I just wanted to make a small little video going through ahead to formulate properly my opinions and thoughts about the eldenring nightreign and what I think about it, what are my first impressions, and so on and so forth. Is nightreign the worst game fromsoftware has ever put out? Is it as bad and as disappointing as the people make it out to be? Hell no, it's not. It has its problems, but overall, it's pretty cool experience. So right now, for me, it is June 1. It's around 3 days since the release of the Elden Ring, and I have already put around 20 hours in the game. I have beaten the first and the second boss and been trying to beat the third guy. Now, you might be a bit curious why I am still struggling beyond 2 bosses and have not beaten the other ones after 20 hours of play. The truth is, I just don't really have friends to play with. Oh, that sounded sad. Yeah, playing with random players has its limit in some areas. It is not completely impossible to beat bosses with the help of other players. Playing with randoms has its struggle, but it is not completely impossible. It just takes some time, yeah. So I just wanted to go over some thoughts that I had in my head regards to this game, the positive, the negative, the problems, and my hopes for the future. So I made a little bit of a note here that I'm going to use to pretty much piece together my this video and what I'm going to formulate there as my opinions. So for now, I'm just gonna start with notes, the first impressions. Is Elden Ring Nightreign anything like Elden Ring? No, it's not. It might look like Elden Ring, but it plays and feels completely different. For starters, it is really fast-paced. Your movement itself, the way your character moves, the way you can just jump around and climb the walls and move from map to map, it's really fast. Okay, and it takes some time to get used to, but once you do, I really do feel like this movement is better than what we got in Elden Ring. I think going forward, fromsoftware should really implement this same moveset with some workings around the wall climbing mechanic that will make Traversal in the future games really fun. Another thing of note is that when you run around the map, you find these little blue colored areas, I'm not sure what to call them, where it's pretty much operates as the wind wheel in base Elden Ring game, where you can use turret to jump across the map. Only this time around, range of the jump is way higher than in the base game. Aside from that, there is also a spirit tree where you can use to summon a spectral bird that can take you across the map and save some time, which helps immensely with the traversal. Another thing that I wanted to pay attention to is the characters. They pretty much represent classes that have specific weapon type tailored for them. For example, Wilder is a guy that runs around with the great sword, so you really should just search for great swords to maximize potential. Iron Eye is a bow guy, so basically we have to really just search for a good bow. And Duchess is a pretty much a speed type dodging focused glass cannon type character that uses daggers and is very good at iframe dodging, but in turn is very weak to attacks. And we also have Revenant, who is pretty much a spirit summoner in this game and uses spirits to pretty much deal a majority of her damage. We also have a mage here who specializes in pretty much casting incantations as well as magic, and of course the newest addition and the one that people are most excited about, the Executioner, who is pretty much a Sekiro. Okay, he is a Sekiro. He has pretty much same mechanics from the Sekiro game. Recluse is pretty much the most complex character in the game. These characters have their own skill sets, their own tailored styles of fighting that you have to learn in order to maximize their potential. I'm not too sure about Guardian. I was not really a fan of tank builds in general, so I have not played with him yet. And the rider is pretty much a strength guy. You just find big ass giant eggs or club and you are good to go. So the loop of the game basically is that you drop in the map with the 2 other guys, and you have limited amount of time that we call a daytime to get as much resources, weapons and XP as possible to rise your level in order to get prepared for the upcoming fight during night. And around the map there is this ring that constantly comes in and closes in on you, and it's really fast. Actually, you don't really have time to sit around and take your time reading some stats, then strategize where to go and what to fight. You really much just constantly on the path of go, get this item, just trying to fight the best weapon you can fight in this short amount of time, get as much XP possible, fight the bosses that actually matter and ignore those that are irrelevant to your progression. In general, you have 2 nights. So the first day you run around getting basic stuff you need to fight the first Nightlord that appears when cycle pretty much covers the entirety of the map. After you beat the first Nightlord, there comes the second day, and during the second day mobs and bosses respawn. Some of them are stronger. We even get some new boss types that are stronger than your average Joe and give you better rewards if you beat them. And aside from that, progression is pretty much the same as the first day. And on the second night, the second Nightlord is stronger than the first one. Sometimes it's a boss from the mid-game of the eldenring, sometimes it's a boss from the Dark Souls. It varies from time to time. And after you beat the second boss, you just go straight to the Nightlord. I think Nightlords are pretty cool in this game. They are new bosses, they have new movesets, and I enjoyed fighting the wolf, the 3-headed wolf. I enjoyed fighting the dragon that is pretty much the cousin of a gaping dragon. I'm not too much of a fan of a butterfly and this crab that I'm fighting currently, but it's okay boss fight, I guess. I did fight Augur or Augur. I'm not too sure how you spell this guy's name, but I did not fight him as a Nightlord, but I had an encounter with him during my scavenging run in Expedition. Sometimes this guy, like a Margit from eldenring, attacks you out of nowhere and you really have to just beat him to move on. He has potential to be fun. And the rest of the Nightlords I'm not too sure because I have no experience with them at all. I'm really just trying to fight these guys one after another and keep the progression linear and not to be all over the place. So yeah, I'm pretty excited to see future bosses. Another thing that I enjoyed about this game is the subtle storyline that there is going on. It's not really important to the game, but if you pay attention, this game really does have a storyline that it follows. It's locked behind this open journal where I think it's called Remembrance. Basically, each character has their own personal story and memories that they forgot, and you can go in and remember for them, which subsequently introduces a new mechanic called Remembrance. Remembrance is basically special missions that are given to you in order to progress the character's storyline and quest, in order to unlock more pages in journal and get the lore. And as a bonus, those quests also give you special items tailored to each of these characters that give specific abilities to the said characters. For example, Wilder here has unlocked a special ability which allows him to simultaneously deal a fire damage while he uses his grappling hook to get close to the enemy. And to do so, you just press the grappling hook and press attack at the same time, which ignites his sword in flames. This is a relic set effect that you get from the quest line once you do his quest. And if you're not really interested in the lore of these characters, you can do those quests solely for the fact that they give you specific items that enhance your Nightfarer further down the line, which in turn helps with the progression. Another thing that I mentioned is the random encounters. Sometimes Margit, one of the Nightlords called Augur, attacks you out of nowhere, and it can be a pain in the ass, but if you beat them, you get specific effects that will help you in your journey to Nightlord, and I think it's pretty cool. I think encounters should be more specialized in the future. I don't know if there are more enemies that randomly invade you during the playthrough, because for now Margit and Augur are pretty much the only ones that I've seen, and I really hope so that there are more in the future, because I think the encounters and invasion mechanic makes the game more interesting and unpredictable. And yeah, I really hope they expand on it in future, because I really liked this part of the game, because I really liked just randomly getting invaded. It's just really, oh shit, there comes the guy kind of moment. To talk specifically more about the bosses that I fought, Trisepalon, I do not know how to pronounce his name, basically 3-headed dog. I think this was really pretty cool boss fight, okay? He's specifically tailored for group fighting because he has this ability to split into 3 wolves who can attack 3 players simultaneously, and it keeps the boss fight really engaging. I really enjoyed that boss fight. Gapping Joe Dragon is actually pretty cool. I think this guy is more cinematic in his boss fight compared to the 3-headed dog. I like his design as well as the boss fight. He's very aggressive compared to the wolves. He's constantly keeping you on your toes, and yeah, you really just have to watch your steps while fighting him. The Sentient Pest one is the current boss fight that I'm trying to beat. I did not enjoy this fight. I think it's okay. It's not bad per se, but it is not as enjoyable as the first 2 NightLords. It really consists of 2 bosses. One is the butterfly that I think is the one from the Dark Souls title. I'm not too sure. I remember fighting something like him in a Dark Souls 1 in a forest. I might be wrong, I'm not too sure. And the second guy is pretty much a crab or a scorpion or something in between that has pretty much a big armor. And the second phase of this boss fight is that those 2 just combine and become even more obnoxious and annoying. But it is what it is. I hope I will beat this guy in future, but for now they are my least favorite. So yeah, so far those are the things that caught my eye. Like I said, I'm still in beginning stage of the game. I still have to go through 70% of the game, but for now I'm liking what I'm seeing. I see the potential basically, I really do. Now we're going to talk about problems. So starting with gameplay problem, the first thing is item pickup. I think picking up items that glow as a white ball and then coming to check the weapon stats after little drop animation plays is really annoying. And sometimes I can't even get item to show the stats because it's stuck somewhere or I'm not too close to it to open the stat menu and see what am I picking up. It's a minor thing, but it is really annoying in general. And I hope they make picking up mechanic of item more convenient in future because right now it is annoying a little bit. My main problem with the game though, the one problem that seriously messes up with your progression is lack of communication with team members. Like I said, I do not have friends to play this game with. Most of them are not interested in playing Nightreign, and I really am forced to play with randoms, and you cannot really talk to randoms in this game. You can use emotes, but nobody really is wasting time using emotes in a game where time to progress is already short as it is. Now luckily I've been teaming up with the guys who most of the time know what they are doing, but I had situations where I was fighting alongside the guys that did not know what their character were doing, who did not know where to go, or just separated from the team and ran away across the map on their own before getting killed and pretty much halting our progression all over again and all over again. At least introducing some sort of chat feature would be great. I know FromSoftware is not too much of a fan of having communication in the game. They've always been just trying to give you communication tools in form of emoting and symbols and stuff. It is a foreign concept to them because they are not used to implementing such thing in their games. But I do really think this game will benefit from you using any form of communication between team members. Another problem is that I'm not really personally affected by it, but there are no duos in this game. There is a solo and there is a trio, but there is no duo, which I think is oversight on their part. If it is a multiplayer game, surely somebody will sometimes play in duos instead of trios or solo. Okay, it's such a no-brainer. But I have read that they are working on it currently and it is something they will add in the future, so good for them and good for us, I guess. It's just weird that it was not implemented in the first place. Another thing that really sometimes pisses me off, and something that I mentioned in one part previously, is that there is no clock timer to see when the ring is actually coming, and sometimes you don't even see it before you are outside of the zone. Sometimes when you're engrossed into a boss fight, you really do not pay attention where is the ring. And sometimes I had situations where I was fighting the guy and before I knew it I was outside the zone because the zone just crawled up on me and I was too distracted to notice that it was approaching. So I would really be thankful if they added some sort of timer or a more prominent sound effect or a text effect that really shows you that ring is getting close and you have to move your ass. Another thing of note that I wanted to talk about, like I said, I'm still in the beginning stage of the game, but I did hear a couple of times that they were hyping up this thing where map would change over time depending on your progression. So far I have only seen one change, and that is this gaping pool of lava in the middle of the map that sometimes appears, and that's it. Pretty much that is it. Perhaps I was wrong on my part, but coming to this game I had this impression that the map would always change and it will not be same over and over. That is not the case. Okay, so far, at least for now, the lava pools are the only things that can be different from time to time. Otherwise it is the same map with same locations and with same bosses and same monsters. And even now, while I do enjoy the game, I do think it's slowly getting repetitive. It is not as random as I would love it to be, and I really hope fromsoftware will figure out something in future to make it more random. But yeah, randomness mechanic they were hyping up before the release, that did not meet my expectation. And finally, the another gameplay problem that I had with this thing is that Dark Souls bosses. Coming to this game, I had hoped that we would have pretty much equal number of Dark Souls enemy mobs as we would have with eldenring bosses and mobs. I was hoping that would mix up the experience of fighting these guys. Sadly, unfortunately, there are selected few Dark Souls bosses that you meet in this game. One of the few is the Gaping Dragon from the Dark Souls 1, Dancer, and Smelter Demon the last time I checked it. Either way, there are a couple more, but it's really low in numbers, and I was really disappointed with it. I think fromsoftware does not have limit when it comes to using Dark Souls and Sekiro bosses. I think they could have done better, and I hope in future DLC they will add more mobs and bosses from previous games, because they have no excuse to not add them. I really do think this game has potential in terms of that. I think they can use this game to release seasonal updates and DLC patches, DLC content where it will include mobs, monsters and weapons from the other games, which will really make this game shine in its own. And I think this is the way they have to go. They can make this game to be a Fortnite of Souls universe that will incorporate all the games mechanics as well as weapons and mobs and bosses that Bandai Namco specifically has access to via their license. I have no false hope that they are going to add some stuff for Bloodborne, because Bloodborne belongs to Sony, so yeah, that's not happening anytime soon. But yeah, I hope they change the ratio in future. Now, when it comes to technical part of the game, it has issues. It has a lot of issues. First and foremost, it crashes a lot, and it really sucks balls. I had so many situations where I was fighting a boss, I was inside there, engrossed, immersed. I was helping my teammates. I was doing that, I was doing this, and then suddenly it crashed. And by the time you go inside the game, you're already dead, and you have a penalty, and you lost a level and runes. And it's not just a crash that happens once every hour or so. Sometimes I crashed more than 5 times in a row, and I rage quit because of that 2 times, because I could not even bother with it. Okay, it was really annoying, and I hope they fix whatever problem is that. Also, frame drops. Sometimes game drops frames. I do not really need to explain why that is bad. I have RTX 4060, and while it's not the best graphics card right now available on market, it is sure as hell better than the average in a PC in today's age. And to have performance issues with that card when I can run the base game without any trouble is kinda like, what are we doing here? Control on PC is also a fucking mess. When I started this game and I tried to control my character, I felt like instead of hands I had legs, and instead of legs I had hands. It was all over the place. It was a mess, and I really am just curious why they could not just copy over the base control of the Dark Souls 3 and eldenring in the Nightreign. It was really freaking weird, and it took some time for me to actually get used to it. But even now, sometimes I just press the wrong button. It's it's a pain. Anyway, so far those things just sum up my first impressions of the game. It's pretty good. It's pretty good. It's pretty good. It's alright. It can be better. It can be way better. It has potential to be really, really better. I really have high hopes for this game and its future. They can start with improving stability of the game, which is like a must, a basic 101, which I'm sure they will improve in the future. Like I said, this game has potential to be a Fortnite of Souls games, and as such, I think they really have to go beyond just one DLC and genuinely add more characters from Sekiro and Dark Souls, and have this game a mix of Dark Souls, Elden Ring, Sekiro. Hell, go beyond those games and add every new boss mechanic and feature from future Souls games that share the genre with the Elden Ring and the Nightreign. I think that will make this game timeless. I think it will benefit the players, and I think it will keep this game popular for years to come if they do that, of course. Right now I hear they have plans for it for 6 months, and I think it's a pretty short time, and I hope they go beyond just 6 months. I think they should add also more skins from the previous games. I would love to have skins of Dark Souls 1 character, Armor of Astora, that looks cool. I would love to have skins from basic knight set that we get in Dark Souls 3, as well as some others armor sets such as Morstain. That will be epic. More weapons, more variety. They just have to keep updating the game, it will be better. So yeah, those are my thoughts on the game, my first impressions. I will make another video when I beat the game and have final thoughts on it, but that will be sometime in future, because seeing as how I am forced to play with randoms, it will take me some time before I finish the game. So yeah, those are my thoughts. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. And yeah, this is it from me. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video, and I will see you guys in future. Peace.